So today I will be discussing how healthcare administrators have an effect on patients through end-of-life issues. For example, there are ethics committees that are present in almost any major healthcare system that will help make decisions regarding the moral or ethical aspects of certain practices and treatments. The reason why they have these ethics committees and the reason why we are focusing on the ethics and end-of-life issues in this course is because there are many different scenarios that will arise during our careers that we will have to think about and weigh options for. One of these things that we need to take into consideration when making decisions is the cultural backgrounds of patients. So there are many different cultures that have very specific and sort of strict rules on like the advancing technologies of end-of-life care, and they don't believe in certain treatments. Another topic that I wanted to cover was the emotional effects that some patients can have on their caregivers. For example, there is a book written called When Professionals Weep: Emotional and Counter-Transference Responses in Palliative and End-of-Life Care that was written to address and spread the awareness that there are physicians who will, in a way, through counter-transference, project their emotions onto patients. And so they will get either very attached to them, or these emotions can be very negative, and so they might not want to care for a patient anymore, or they will transfer them. But it's important to know and be aware of countertransference, as it can affect the way that patients are being cared for. And in the healthcare field, we have to make sure that everyone is being treated to the best of our abilities, regardless of how they're behaving, honestly, and the way that they might believe that they should be cared for. Remaining unbiased in the way that we are providing care is important, because we need to make sure that we are doing whatever is best for the patient. And sometimes we might be discussing something with a patient and realize that we have very, very different opinions on things, but it's important to make sure that our physicians and nurses are caring for our patients regardless of whether or not they agree with them on certain subjects. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're providing the patient the best care that they would like. We want to make sure that we're never ever crossing anyone's moral or ethical lines, and that everyone is receiving the best possible care. The third thing that I wanted to touch on, and subsequent fifth thing, is euthanasia and end-of-life mercy killings. It is a very controversial topic. It has been in the news. It has been in almost any ethics class that I've taken. Euthanasia, while uncomfortable, is a topic that we have to make sure that we're well educated on. As a Catholic, I don't believe that euthanasia is the answer, because it removes the possibility of getting better. And I think that physician-assisted suicide is also it's a very difficult field to maneuver, as there are many physicians who aren't comfortable prescribing lethal doses of medication because they feel as though they have a hand in someone's death, which they do. However, there are people who will argue in favor of euthanasia because they feel like it would be wrong to prolong a person's suffering just because we feel like they should survive. Topics such as euthanasia and abortion have become the focus of a lot of political arguments recently, as the value of life has become a subject, not so much of debate, but the definition of life, and whether or not we should be fighting for the right to life or the continuation of a life, even if the patient doesn't believe that it's worth living. And I am not making this video in order to say that one thing is wrong and one thing is not. I do have my own opinions over these things. However, when I become a healthcare administrator, I have to make sure that I'm making the most unbiased decisions possible. I hope to work in a facility that shares my ideals and my morals and my values. However, if I am not, I need to make sure that I'm making the best, most ethically sound decisions, and I will not be able to just make a blanket statement about most things. It'll vary from case to case. And so what I've learned in this course is to do research into the different ways that patients can be cared for, the different ways that people view end-of-life care. This course has also opened my eyes to the different court cases and how drastically different people think about the same subject. And so I just wanted to finish this video by saying thank you very much, Dr. Jenny, for the opportunity to discuss these issues with my classmates and for the sort of prompts to go in and learn about all of these subjects, because I think it will honestly make me a better healthcare administrator, being aware of them and knowing that they're something that I can always learn more on. So thank you.